Welcome back to our IT Support Help Desk Lab course. In our last video, we talked about RDP and some different tips that a help desk will come across based on setting up users. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. If you go to YouTube, type Job Skills Share and then make sure you subscribe. Now let's go back to our lab and let's talk about what we are going to cover today. Now you know that as a help desk you have more tools and everything is good to go on a help desk level, and you can now start supporting Monica based on your RSAT tools, that Active Directory tools that you installed in the last videos. So now that's not it, right? So because Monica is going to come across different type of different type of request, and you need to be able to provide that. Just like we set up Active Directory, this is exactly how more features are being set up by systems administrators, and you need to support it. What am I talking about? Let's go ahead and log in as Monica right now, and we will talk about this more in a practical way. So we're going to log into your machine as a help desk. Sherry was the help desk, so we're going to log in as her. So now you're logged in as a help desk, and here's Monica. Now the thing that we want to learn today is about file sharing. Now, file sharing in itself, again, when you want to learn something in more detail, you're not relying on my normal explanation, you should definitely go back to the course and learn about file sharing in more details, because that's where you're going to learn more formal description and the formal way of you're going to instructor will explain things to you so you can learn. So how can you do that as a member? You can go back to your learning path and open the first course. In the first course, you can come over here on the left side. If you scroll all the way down, module this right here 3 is about disk partition method and file system. You see, you first of all you need to understand about what disk you're using and what type of sharing are you using. Even before sharing, you need to understand how things are working on a disk level. So once you understand that, then you can come to the second course, which is your step 2 course. In the step 2 course, then there's a file management full module on that. Manage NTFS permissions, verify permissions, and then there's of course an introduction that things can be explained in a very more advanced way. So again, these two are separated in one course, which is IT fundamental, and the second course is a little more advanced, and that's where you start to learn more advanced things. But in this video, I'm just going to quickly give you a quick rundown so then you have an idea or you can practice it yourself. Now in reality, what happened is that Monica will log into her machine, and most of the time companies will have some type of standards for file sharing. This is again something that you don't do. This is something that will be done by your systems administrator or your whoever is kind of like managing your whole infrastructure. Usually this is a project done in a very early days when your network is getting created, or it could be a later on thing too. So there are many ways people share files. One they use like these days cloud-based systems, like for example OneDrive. But this is mostly used for personal documentation, but now even companies are using it for more corporate level sharing and things like that. We're not going to be talking about this since this is touching cloud. This is something later on when we tell you that now we need to modernize our skills. We will talk about that. For now, when Monica goes into this PC, the only file that she can access right now is her C drive. She doesn't know anything right now how to get to a company specific file. So let's say, for example, we're working in this company and we need to share files with everyone, and we would like to call it a group. Now, a help desk person will not just come over here to their machine and start creating these files. There's a reason behind it. So if let's say, for example, if you had to do this, let's say if you go to this PC, and if you go to this PC C drive, and let's create a folder called share, or let's just call it group. So we want to call it group. You're going to right click on it, and there's different way to share this file now. Give access is a simple way. We don't use this in a business environment when you're creating a large level sharing like that. You're going to click on sharing, and you're going to go to the advanced sharing. Basically, here you have more options, but what I want to show you why we don't use our personal machines like desktops, clients, Windows 10 is for this reason. When you click on share this folder, you can see you have maximum 20 concurrent connections, simultaneous connection to connect to this machine. This means that if somebody from Monica, and let's say we have 20 more people, 20 people will connect to that share, but the 21 person will have issues not getting connected to till one person drop from that connection. So of course that clearly tells you that desktops are not ready for large level sharing like that. So you will not be using this method on your machine. Now you could be using this just for practice. You can create one and just try to share and see if you can if a Monica can access this file. For practice purpose, yes, you can do that. But in reality, what will happen is a systems administrator will log into the server like this, and because its server have more services, more power, is designed for this type of stuff. So I am going to show you how it's so different than your desktop. So here we saw that it was only 20. Here, if you come to the server and you try to imply the same rule, and let's just do the same sharing on the server, you're just going to go to the folder on the server, and let's go ahead and open a folder, and let's go to the same process into the C drive, and right click in the C drive, go to new. Let's go ahead and create group. We're going to call it group. And if you right click on this group, we're going to click on properties, and here, we're going to go back to the group, right click on the properties. And now here we can do share, and when you do advanced sharing, you can see when you click on share this folder, the number is huge right here for servers. And that is the reason why people use servers for sharing, for web browsing, for things like that, because if you want more people to be connecting and doing things or access applications, this is where servers are created for, so that many people can access that specific resource. Now every resource has a different limitations, like web browsers have different ones because of the ports and stuff like that, and desktops and connections like this have different type of requirements. So in this case, what we're going to do, we are going to go ahead and click on permissions, who have permissions to access this group. So right now you see everyone have permissions. So usually we will go to add, and we are going to add a domain users, because remember, domain users are who? Now in your Active Directory, domain users are the people who are a part of your Active Directory. These are not local people. These are the people right here. When you created these accounts, for example, in sales, you created Monica. So if you right click on Monica and you go to properties, by default, she is a domain user in this Active Directory domain network. So let's go ahead and click OK. We know that, and we're going to basically give Sherry a change rights, and we're not going to give her full rights, and we're going to remove this the everyone, and we're going to click apply and OK, and then you're going to click on apply and OK again. Now one thing you should do, another thing is to go to security, and then you should come over here, and then what kind of security rights you want to give, come over here and just type domain users. So when you type domain user, you see there's a read and write permissions. We don't want to give more permissions yet, so let's just click on modify. We don't want to give full permissions to the domain users, and we're going to click OK and close that. Now how do you know if I can access this share folder from Monica's machine? Now how would you know that? There's two ways you can do this. You can right click, go to properties. If you have access to the server, go to sharing, and it tells you exactly what you need to type. This is the name that you need to type, / DC/group. Then you have this advanced sharing too, which you can learn this in the courses. Like I mentioned, when you go into that courses, you're going to learn a lot about these different type of permissions. But now let's keep it basic for you to practice, because this is the basic stuff. So now if you go back to your Monica's machine right now, and here, how do you access that path? You simply go to your Windows Explorer, not your Internet Explorer. Explorer as in Windows Explorer. So you come on here, click on a folder, and then you're going to see this bar right here. So that bar represents you can actually access certain things like that. So you can do / DC and /. When you do that, you see nothing is coming up, but when you give it a second, then the group showed up right there. If I double click on it, you can see I can access this folder in this group. So if it was a group that everybody can access, let's say for example I want to create a folder here, and I want to call it Sherry, and then she have rights to do a lot of things over here. You can see she can add a staff, and then she can go inside the folder, and then she can create documentation. So let's say for example text file. So she can do anything in this folder, and if you right click on this text file and you can click on delete, click yes, she can delete as well. So let's go ahead and create again. So this is how Sherry can access that folder. So another thing is that a lot of people will tell you, hey, can I get a shortcut of my share folder? Yes, you can simply drag and drop this and put it on your desktop. So now you don't have to type that // you can just double click on it and now you can access. Another way to create a share path is to copy the share path, right click here, go to new, and then go to shortcut, and then of course you want to give it a whatever type the location item. So when you do that, copy paste right here, you click next. What name do you want to give that? That's fine, and we're going to say okay. You see it's the same thing, drag and drop, and it does the same thing. Another piece of skill that a lot of people will look for in interviews is that how do you map a share folder? It's very simple. In your PC, right click on this PC, go to map a network drive. You see it's a network location. It even tells you what to type. And if you do the same process over here, if you put the same path over here, you can change the name. So a lot of people will, this is something that companies will decide, what do we want to give this a path? So this is a group map drive. So we're going to click on finish, and it's going to connect that in your PC right here. So next time when you come to this PC section, your shared folder is actually mapped. And then after that, it can even tell you how much space does this whole folder or G drive have. So you can see right here, and people can make a limitation on this and everything like that to make sure that it doesn't one person doesn't mess up the space. So people can do a lot of limitation on this, which I'm going to show you later on. Now this is where a lot of your tickets will come to you. Like Monica will call you, and Monica may go to a different machine and she may not have this share folder. So she will call you, hey, can I have that M drive or P drive or G drive mapped to my new machine? Sometimes it's done by group policy, but those are, like I said, it gets to more advanced level, which you're going to learn in courses and in some of these videos later on. But for now, people are going to be calling you just exactly what I showed you for // getting into the share folder, shortcut, map drive. Almost 3 things that you just learned today is a very common task that you as a beginner will do. Okay, so of course people that are going to then call you that I'm double clicking on this and I cannot access, then of course you will have access as a help desk person. You would have access to actually get into a specific share like this, and then you can give people access based on your access. You can go ahead and give people access or change permissions. Sometimes and this may not be available to you, so you'll have to request and escalate that ticket because some data is sensitive, like HR stuff. Then you will have to kind of go through some approvals and stuff like that, so keep that in mind as well. There's a wait time, so you have to be patient when it comes to this kind of stuff. So if I come over here and then I right click on the groups, I can go in properties, and then of course I can do more things, like if I want to do advanced sharing, if I click on advanced sharing and I click on permissions, I can come over here and change that, different type of settings. Like if I don't want them to be changing things, I can deny that, or I can read deny, and they won't be able to do anything after that. And sometimes you may have a read permission on domain level, so you can read it, but only a person can be added to change things. Like Monica can be specifically added. Then of course you need to come over here and then add Monica specifically for this share. So let's say Monica like that. Oops, I'm typing everything wrong today. Monica. So you see that Monica came in. Specifically, we can deny a read permission for Monica. So when you click on apply, you're going to get this warning basically telling you that once you do the deny, it's going to take over for Monica. Like, this permission will not matter and this specific user permissions will be applied. So let's go ahead and click OK. And we're going to say apply, click OK, and then click this. And now if I go and cancel this, and if I go to this group, right here, I get you do not have access. You do not have permissions to access this folder. But if I go as a domain user or domain admin with a different account, so let's say I'm going to help desk, and if I go to DC slash group, if I come over here, I can access that folder for Monica. That's because I am a domain user and I'm a domain admin. I can still access this and I can basically get into the folder, but specifically because we denied this access for Monica, she can no longer access this. So for your practice, I mean, if you want to do this a little bit more practice, you should create a new account like that in Active Directory. That's basically just kind of like you're doing a repetitive work again. That's what I love about doing practice in Active Directory, that you can create more and more users. So let's just make Jeff an account, and we're going to create a brand new account for Jeff. So now Jeff is a domain user by default. How do you know? You go to properties, you go to member of, and you see by default he's a domain user. Can Jeff access this? I believe so. Let's go ahead and try it. So now when you log in, because we did not specifically deny Jeff to deny that folder access to Jeff. So Jeff should be able to log in with this account and he should be able to see that information. Let's go ahead and log in as Jeff. Good practice for Active Directory again. So now you see Jeff is logging in, our network and everything, domain controller is working. Jeff is knocking a door on DC. DC say, I know Jeff, go ahead, give him access. That's exactly what's happening now. You guys learn this stuff, so this should be a piece of cake right now. So Jeff just logged into this machine. Now, one thing that just came to my mind, that how do you know how many people have logged into this machine with a domain profile, is another way you can also check it this way. So this is not a local users, right? They're not going to show up in local users. So when you go to this PC and when you go to C drive and when you go to users, here it tells you that Jeff, Monica, and all these accounts are basically a domain. If there's a same domain, you can see it put a corp in front of it. So these are the domain accounts. This is the local account that you have created. So let's go ahead and log in with Jeff. Now, can Jeff log into that? Let's go ahead and find out. So you see how Jeff typed that? He logs in and boom, Jeff can access that. Why? Because we did not deny this permission for Jeff, because Jeff is a part of a domain user group right here. So let's go ahead and permissions. You can see he's a part of this group and he has access to, but there's no deny access. So it's a very simple way. You have a person that you don't want them to be accessing a specific area, then you can use this to practice. But like I said, this is not the only place you will be doing things. It can get more advanced. Then you have this security permissions. You can come over here. You have more different type of security. You can play around with specific area, listing a folder, contents. You can say allow, deny. You can put a security on a very top level, or you can put a security on a lower level. So a lot of people have, let's say, a group folder, and after that each person have their own folders and they may not be able to see each other's folders. Those are more advanced things, and those are then set up on a server level where you need more features on the server. So just to give you a tip, most of the time people will be using more security on controlling the share, and they will be using more features from server manager as well, and also from a file resource manager. So as a systems administrator, this is their job to then, okay, how do you want to do this whole process? This is why I said that in the beginning, that when you are working on this type of stuff, it's not you that are creating this whole system. This is actually done by a systems administrator, where people are coming here and then basically they're creating a specific type of sharing for a whole business. So if you come over here, you see that there's add roles and features. There are shares right here. So if you go to shares, you can see there are already the shares that we were working on. It's available right here. You can stop sharing from here. You can go to properties. It gives you more permissions, more different type of newer way of doing things. You can then go to the advanced settings and you can basically enable, you can like hide the specific folders for If you want people to not see the whole path, you can do these kind of things. And also you can create new share from here, from this server manager. Like I said, that's again, this is more advanced stuff which you should be learning from a server courses and not just your normal help desk type of. But if you have access, go ahead and play around, find more documentation on this, click on new share, go and find more about advanced sharing, quick sharing applications. And the more you go advanced, the more it's going to tell you that what you need, you're going to need more features for this. So sometimes people will be saying that, hey, we need to disable people to double clicking on or get downloading a MP3 file, because they're MP4 files, because video files are large, so maybe they don't have that kind of space. So for that, they will just go and to manage and add roles, and they're going to click on next, and they're going to go to next again, and here they're going to go to files and storage. In files and storage, they're going to expand this, and they're going to actually add file server and features, which I'm about to do right now. So I'm just going to click install, and you can see right now this is a new feature getting installed. So then you can control the shares and what you want to do more in advance. So this is mostly done on a Windows level where you have NTFS and security features, but then on the file server resource manager, you're then controlling the share path and what's inside it, even applications, even extensions. You may control a lot of different things, and even space. You can limit the space on top of that. So that's it's, you see how it's going a little more advanced and more detail now when it comes to sharing, and that's where you need to know now the server level knowledge and not just basic level. For level 1, the people that are going to test you is that this is the path. How can you open this path on a machine? So you should know you have to open a file explorer. How can you make a shortcut? How can you make a map drive? Why am I not able to access this folder? Can you tell me why? You have access to a server. Would you like to give me some idea? Maybe you can go to the properties and say it's denied. So something very basic. Or how do you create a basic level sharing? By right clicking here and then creating a new share. Different ways. So the idea behind this is to keep it very simple for you. First, try to master this. How do you get into the share? How to create maps? How to create shortcuts? Because that's the interview questions. And the rest you should practice more just to understand more. Okay. So we have the server files resource server managers available. How do you access that? You're going to go to tools, and then you're going to go to file server resource manager. And then we have file server resource manager available here. You see, it gives you more options now. So we got different things going on here. You have a quota right here. You can right click here and create space. So this is basically like you're saying to people that you can only use this amount of space. This is the only amount space available to you. So for you to do this, you need to basically go to browse and browse to that specific share on this server. So now we have a group share that we already know that this is a group share, and we have mapped this on this machine. Well, or let's say if you want to map this on this machine, how much space would we have? So if I click on OK, we're giving it 100 MB limit to this C drive. So let's say, for example, if I create this, so you see how this is a extra feature. Because of that server with a file server resource manager installed, I was able to do this. So if I come over here and I do the same mapping again for Jeff now, let's go ahead and do that. So if Jeff mapped this drive, you see he only have, how much space does he have? Let's go back and check it. Look at this. He has 100 MB. Before it was 30 gigs. So now you have put a limitation for Jeff. So if you're a help desk and you're level 1 and you came to know that when you go to the company and you're like, okay, this is coming from this server. First of all, // this is the server name. Sometimes you may not even see this. This could be done, like I said, more advanced stuff. Maybe this can be coming from a cloud or some other type of file sharing system. So you need to understand and ask them, what kind of systems are we using for file sharing? And is there anything I need to know if I cannot see a server name, or what kind of access do I have? Some of these questions should be asked if you know this stuff. Usually a company will tell you all of this stuff, but not everybody have documentation like that, right? So // this is a DC, which is a server, and this is a group, and you can see that this is a limitation going on over here on this. So you could clearly think that, okay, you know what, they have some type of thing going on here. Or if it's a Windows environment, then you probably know that this is a file server resource manager doing this. Now, for specific screening, let's say I don't want MP3 file inside the system. For that, you need to do screening management. So if you go to the file screening, we don't have any screen, we're going to right click and create a file screen. Again, we're going to come over here and we're going to choose that share folder, and this is in our C drive. We're going to click OK, and here you see it says block audio and video file. You can come over here and do executable file, images. You can put a lot of things in there. So if I put images, you can see what kind of things is going to get blocked. So, and you can do also custom too. So if I click on this screen, and if I come over here right now and I click on new and I go to bitmap image, you see my permission is denied now. Now that is a cool way to understand that if it says access denied, you as a new beginner should know that there's something going on. It doesn't have to be this specific feature. What if they're using totally different type of systems? But at least that tells you as a beginner that there's something going on without you doing a lot of troubleshooting, wasting your time. Now when you do this practice, you would understand that there's something going on, right? And if it's a server level stuff, you should add this into your resume, talk about this in your resume or interview. Tell them that I use this type of resources, I did this in my lab, I use filters, and hey, they will know, okay, this person knows more than just doing basic sharing. There you go. Alright, so before we end this video, let's just finish it with two basic commands that you can use to learn the command line with the GUI stuff. So when you make a share on the server and you're new, let's say you go to this company and you have so many folders in your C drive and they say, hey, we got a lot of shared folder over here. Of course, you're not going to right click and go to properties like that. The simple command that you should use and retain this information, just net share, just like that. So if you do this, you know that the $C share was something very special. It comes with Windows, and that's something we discussed in the last video. And now this is the one that you should be concerned. Okay, that is the main share. This is the group. This is the path. This is the folder, the resource, and the share name of this is group right here. The rest of the stuff is for sysadmin. You don't need to worry about this stuff. And then, of course, if you're on a client machine, like how do I do this on a remote machine? If you have access to these shares, so you just click on CMD, no admin rights are required if this person have access. So here you go. You're going to type net share first just to see if this machine have any share going on. So if it does, it will show you, the list will show up. If it doesn't have that and you want to know the domain controller shared folder, so simply change this to vir, and then you need to put the name of that domain controller. So when you do this, you can see shared resources at DC. Basically, it's going to throw something like this, the group, right? So that's pretty cool because now you know that DC is my server. You already know about that information, and then it just gives you a list. The other way you saw that in earlier, if you had have done to file, you can go here to the file explorer, and if I just do this DC/, and you can see in a second it will pop up with some of the share folders on that DC. And that is a very basic way. Of course, there are more advanced commands you can use and things like that. But like I said, this is the basic stuff. This is why we call it extreme basics of IT support basics. So then you can practice this. You can check things out. You can try to learn more by researching, because that's the only way you're going to become a proper IT professional. Not by just watching my videos and duplicating and replicating the same thing, by actually then going out there and finding more commands, finding more way to share, finding more way to play around with this. That's the only way you will become a proper IT professional. Thank you for watching this. Don't forget to subscribe and let us know if you have any comments.